What up, though? This is Rob. Just want to let you guys know that we are starting the Top Podcast Minecraft server soon. Be sure to check out our Discord, which you can find in the description if you're not a part of it. If you are a part of it and are interested in joining, be sure to check out the Minecraft thread. That's where we're going to be posting any information. Hope to see you there. We should be starting soon. Enjoy the episode. Welcome to this week's episode of the Top Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Rob, and joined with me are my friends Mike.
What a beautiful day. I just feel so good.
And Lou.
I'm dying.
Got the dichotomy going. Each week, we like to start off the podcast with an icebreaker. You got one for us this week, Mike?
Okay, if you had to get a matching tattoo with me, what matching tattoo would you get?
A big, throbbing playing card.
I like it. How are we going to visualize in this tattoo that the playing card is throbbing?
Well, it's going to have some nice veins, like up the king's, arm or hand.
Oh, okay.
Got something to say, Lou?
God. Nah, you're just causing me to fumble in my faith right now, brother. I'm trying to stay strong. What did Paul say when he was in prison? Was it Paul?
Which time in prison?
I don't know. Those dudes were more locked up than my favorite rappers.
Okay, well, now that we've lost our entire female audience, Lou, what's your...
I don't know. I want to say something very thoughtful. I kind of wish you sent it to me. I don't know. Maybe what are things that we've bonded over? I don't know. I'd let Joe decide.
Oh, honestly, that'd be fun.
Yeah, there we go.
He would get the Top Podcast logo tattooed on him.
Oh, I would rather...
Yeah, no.
You bonded over it.
I love you guys, but that's a big,
I'm right there with you. Not happening.
that's a big no.
Why, you want to get my face tattooed on you? How dare you?
How dare
So we're looking for 2 new hosts for the Top Podcast. So, comment down below. Why should you be my host, and would you get my face tattooed on you?
Honestly, that's all it is. It's just the first 2 people to show up with the Top Podcast tattoo. You get the spot.
You're in.
It's all yours. It's all yours. I secede.
It's going to be real awkward because then they're going to have to get the new logo tattooed on them too. So
rough.
Oh, man. All right, so this week we are talking about one album wonders. If you're familiar with the term one-hit wonder, it's a band that had one really banger song. Aha and Take on Me is probably a really great example, unless there's some Take on Me songs I don't know about.
Oasis.
Yeah, that was a very popular song, yes. Yeah, you get the idea. And one album wonders are just bands that have one album that you're like, this is a masterpiece. I don't skip more than one song. I usually say an album is great if it only has one skip, but I have a lot of albums that don't have any skips. So I went with all, albums that I love every single song. And everything else in their discography, I'm just kind of like, yeah, it's fine at best.
Well, you're starting off, Mike, so what's your number 3?
My number 3 is a self-titled album by, I believe, the Tennessee rock band American Bang. To throw back to our second episode of all time, there's an episode of Greek where I think it was a spring break concert they were at down in somewhere in Florida, and there was this really awesome band playing in the background. And I was like, I really dig this. And I got online, I did some research, and turned out it was American Bang, and I liked the song, and then I liked the whole album. And then it turned out that they made one album ever, and you just can't get any more American Bang. It doesn't exist. They are literally this one album, and that's it. And I'm convinced they wouldn't be a one album wonder if they could have made another album, but they never did. And so it's kind of like somewhere, but it's kind of like classic rock guitar. It's got that, it's inspired by that, but it still feels a little more modern in its rock. And then the guy's got that nice southern twang in his voice without being intentionally put on country, which I actually really like. I don't like when people, put on the country singing voice. But I love when it's genuine. And so
I don't know.
yeah.
Bo Burnham's country twang is pretty nice.
That is the one exception. That he is allowed to do that any day of the week.
Especially in Parks and Rec.
Oh my god.
So this is the definition of an actual one album wonder.
Yep. There's only one album. Nothing else exists. There were actually a couple bands that fell under this. They made one album. I really liked it, and that was it. If we do honorable mentions, we can talk about those. But yeah, the other two are big famous bands that I only like one album from. So it'll get more contentious as we go.
Well, Lou, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is a band that came out in 1984, but didn't come out with the first album until 1994. So they were in the lab looking for quite a bit of time. I'm gonna go with "Throwing Copper" by Live. I think one of the post grunge. I think is probably, if you had to put all the music together and put it on one genre, I think post grunge is probably my favorite rock collective. I would say. Is that fair? Is that okay? I think that's okay.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. And I remember something my family would do. This part I didn't know, but my family would get really high without me. I wasn't in the room. And then they would invite me downstairs, and we would listen to rock music and play Mario Kart at the same time. And I was really good at the time, probably because my family was absolutely blazed out of their mind.
You're like, gosh, guys, you really suck at this.
Yeah. Dad, you're driving backwards right now, man. He's like, haha, yeah?
Yeah.
And I would always love when Throwing Copper, the album, came on. All Over You, the starting of the drum, I think, is probably my favorite. The artist, the musician, sorry, what is his name? The singer. I think he has a very unique voice. And I saw a couple YouTube videos of them doing stuff live, and I'm very happy that they picked the name because they're a pretty good live band. So yeah.
Whoa, he does have a very unique voice.
Yeah, one of my favorites.
It's not what I expected.
And easily only one good album. And it's kind of sad when your first album is your best album as an artist, but I mean, what are you gonna do? I wouldn't say I like every single. I think 7 out of the 14 songs I'm in love with.
Oh my gosh, 14 songs is a beast of an album.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I Alone, banger, Selling the Drama, Iris, Lightning Crashes, All Over You. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, man, I am dancing like a white guy right now to this song. This has got my upper body moving and nothing else.
Yeah. It'll get you. Hey, mix that with a little bit of Rainbow Road.
Honestly,
and
I can see it.
Devil's
You'll
Lettuce.
get far.
Oh my God.
To each his own. But
That's
yeah,
a vibe. That's a vibe for sure.
that's me.
All right.
I fully expected a little bit more of a like angry voice to it, and then he came out sounding all high pitch and somewhere between Alter Bridge and Rush, and I was like, oh, okay.
Shoot, that is very true. I never put the two together.
I
are mixed the two.
I can't listen to it because I'm recording the pod. But how does he fare to The Great Escape's high pitched vocals? Just out of curiosity.
It's been a minute since I've listened to that song. I couldn't.
Boys Like Girls. That's what the band's called, right?
That sounds right. Let me see. Boys Like Girls. That's the one. Let's see.
Gotta know where I expect my expectations. Great podcast.
I think he's a little more naturally high pitched than this guy.
Okay. He's not doing falsetto.
Oh, holy crap. Okay, so so naturally, his voice lands somewhere between the verse, above the verse of Great Escape, below the chorus of Great Escape. But it's not like, it doesn't feel put on. He's just got a high-pitched voice.
Yeah. Whenever I sing along to The Great Escape, my voice always cracks.
There's no getting through that song.
No. Not my karaoke song.
No, it's fair. Oh, man, that'd be impressive, though. That'd be a good one.
My number
Comment in the chats. I'm looking for a good karaoke song to be my karaoke song because I got a bunch of people in my life who are like, it's getting chirped enough that I'm like, I'm gonna get dragged into this soon. So hit me up with the good ones.
That'd
Sorry,
be a
Rob.
good icebreaker. What is Mike's
Ooh.
karaoke song?
There we go.
I'll think about
We've
it
been
during this
discussing an
pod.
episode where we bring multiple of the listeners on to do top versus slop. So that might be it.
Top or slap, Mike's karaoke song. All of our karaoke songs. There we go.
Oh, that cooking. Welcome to the lab, folks.
Especially if you're not like someone we know before the podcast, I'd love to hear what you think of us. Like, just listen to us. That'd be fantastic. If I could pay you, I would, but we don't make any money.
That's true. That's true.
You guys are not making no money.
Right now, in total, I'm down money because I bought a bunch of our stickers.
Yeah, it just keeps going to some like offshore account. Is that Lou? Is that you?
Who's the money man now, mother? Beep.
All right, Rob, what do you got?
So my number 3 is a song I learned at camp, or a band of I learned at camp, and I think for a couple summers it was pretty popular. But I listened to their one album, and I totally forgot to make the joke I had written down. But anyways, we'll move past it. My number 3 is Sum 41's Greatest Hits. It's a callback to our to our favorite albums joke pod. But this is Barton Hollow by The Civil War, which came out in 2011.
Oh, the Civil War. Is that the band that had
It's a duet. It's just a guy and a girl.
The dude and the chick, really
Yeah.
long hair on the guy. They had something in wine.
Poison and Wine. That's my favorite song from the
Yes.
album. It's the most popular one, but the
Good
harmonies
song.
are so good, so fantastic. I think if I remember correctly, the female singer is Hayley Williams' sister from Paramore, or she's
very
somehow related to another famous singer, and I think it's Hayley Williams. I can double check that as we're going, but yeah, I just love this. If it's more folky, and like I said, it is a duet. So if you're not really into only two people singing the whole time, and it's acoustic because it's folky, then it's probably not your taste. But man, I just really love it, and I think they only came out with one other album, and I've been meaning to go back to it. But every time I want to listen to them, I'm like, I'm just going to listen to Barton Hollow.
Right. Yeah, it's good, like pipes by the bonfire vibes.
Mm.
And also the title
Cigars
song
are a
is
little
fantastic.
too masculine for the feel, but pipes are right there in the sweet spot.
Yeah, I know Beezy was a big Civil War fan.
That does not surprise me. That's right up his alley. Miss that guy.
Let's see. Yeah, Joy Williams, the sister of Amy.
I think it's really funny. I want to say it was Taylor Swift, but one of the big mega singer girls decided to cover Misery Business, and she wouldn't say the word. But Hayley Williams has been like, okay, this is stupid. I'm gonna sing the song and I'm just gonna say the word. So like, they're like, yeah, I'm not gonna say the word because Hayley Williams doesn't. And I was like, no, she does. She does it live now, and
Oh, does she? I know for a while I heard that she didn't.
for
say
a long time
whore.
she didn't, but now she says it, and like
She's a good
honestly,
Christian girl.
there's a little part of me that's like she was just building them up.
Hey.
She just spent like 10 years not doing it, so when she finally said it, people just went nuts.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't realize the Williams were from West Branch, Michigan. So there you go.
Same.
Nice. Did not know that either. I didn't know there was a West Branch, Michigan.
Probably on
Me
the
neither.
west side, I'm guessing.
That would make sense.
Classic.
Then again, Northville, relatively far down on
It's
the
relatively
southern
south.
side of Michigan. Yeah.
Oh no, it's in the kind of the pointer finger, in the middle of the pointer finger. If you made the map.
Huh.
Well, you know. Just so stay on
Top tier
topic.
podcast.
Yeah, Mike, what's your number 2?
All right, my number 2 has my favorite Beatles song ever on it. It's Rocky Mountain High by John Denver.
Oh gosh, I was gonna be able to talk to
genuinely
Beatles for
love
once.
every song on this track, or on this album. I specifically think that Prisoners is, I think it was the prototype for modern upbeat American folk. Like if you go back and listen, it's like, holy crap, this came out in like the 60s or the 70s, and people are still ripping off the vibe of Prisoners. Such a good song. Obviously, Rocky Mountain High is a banger. Have you ever and maybe this was just me as a guitar person in high school, but like, do you ever look up people doing covers of songs with acoustic guitars on YouTube? And it'll be like a moody little teenage girl in her room, just like strumming just the chords, all downstrokes. And it's like, okay, yeah, sure. Like the chords are there and like the singing's good, but it's just empty. Like there's not enough going on to fill out the song melodically the way that like the album version does. Am I the only one who's experienced this?
Yeah, it's more the opposite, looking up like heavy metal versions or dubstep.
I do enjoy that too. But anyway, that's a thing. You can go look up, like, you know, you can even of just like acoustic songs, you'll find just like teenagers in their bedroom, and it's just like, okay, yep, you're strumming out the chords. This is good. Like you're learning, and like good job, but you know, it's not quite there. That's how I feel about the Beatles version of Mother Nature's Son compared to John Denver's version. He does so much awesome instrumentation and harmony, and everything's layered, and it's chef's kiss. It's beautiful. Just slurp that up. And then the Beatles version, I'm like, you guys sound like a teenager in their bedroom compared to John Denver. He just took the song and just elevated it to a whole new level. And yeah, I was disappointed when I finally actually heard the Beatles version, because I looked it up. I was like, I'm going to learn this song. And I was like, I'm sorry, Paul McCartney, what? And then I listened and I was like, oh, screw that. I'm learning the John Denver version. Except the John Denver version was too hard because that guy was crazy talented.
At least it's not like the Aerosmith cover where it's basically exactly the same.
Yeah, no, he really made it his own. Like if you like that song by the Beatles, I would like genuinely recommend looking it up, because it's so good. Honestly, in hindsight, it might be my number one cover. I don't know if we've ever done that, but it'd be a real contender.
We have. I think we... Because I remember vaguely we've talked about it, so we did do cover songs, I believe.
Yeah, missed opportunity.
Yeah, we did, because freaking Lou chose some Kids Bop tune.
Haha.
What's it? It was I'm Sorry, Miss Jackson, for Kids Bop.
Your boy was struggling. Your boy was struggling. I can't wait to do books again, because I can actually participate and not suggest only YA books.
I forgot
Nothing wrong with YAs.
Huh?
Nothing wrong with YAs.
You know,
that was my suggestion for book club. I'm pretty sure I read that one in high school. I remember liking it. And
there's nothing wrong with YAs, but when that's only on your repertoire, you're like, ooh, your boy needs to learn some more 5th grade words.
Which will selfless plug. Go check out our Discord. We're doing a monthly book club. We're in the process of voting. It should still be up by the time this episode comes out. Mike and Lou's pick are neck and neck, and Lou hasn't even voted for his own pick, so if he decides to, I think we'll be tied, but it's only one vote difference. You could be the difference, whoever's listening out there.
Uh-oh. Yeah, or you could vote for me.
No.
Just saying, my book's going to be the fastest to read. Minimal commitment.
Isn't it like 5 hours?
Arnstein, yeah, I was blown away. I didn't remember it being quite that short, but I was like, hey, you know what? I got a lot going on right now, and jamming in the 10 hours or whatever of The Hobbit has been tricky.
Isn't Arn's like 3 hours long?
Arn's?
No.
Somebody's is over 15 hours, and
That's
one
Lou's.
of them is okay, yeah, and then one of them is shorter than the other thing
nonfiction.
No wonder no one's voting for yours.
Hey, I think Cantwell did. Thank you, Cantwell. I wanted to read Lou's pick, so I kind of just threw one out there. I still want to read what I put, but I also want to read what Lou put. So
It's a pretty good book.
All right, Lou, what's your number 2?
My number 2 was sang by my dad on the way to school quite often. It was a band that I think he just thoroughly enjoyed. And when I came back to this band, I was like, oh, they only came out with really one good album. All right. And so, 1993, a self-inclaimed title when the band name is the same as...
just self-titled.
Self-titled Candlebox. If you want to feel like you're wearing a leather jacket, smoking a real cancerous cigarette with a little
tattoos.
type of cigarette.
with some tattoos,
Harley and everything.
and some eyeliner and long hair, wearing all black,
The studded leather too, with like the spikes coming out of the shoulders.
No,
No,
that's
not that.
more.
That's too much.
No, that's more basement vibes. I'm not talking
Okay.
about that.
All right.
Calm down, buddy. I know you're married now. But no, such a good band. I mean, such a good band, such a good album. It's almost embarrassing because when you look at their list of albums, they're just republishing the same songs over and over and over again
Mhm.
because they know their first album was just the peak of that, and yeah, so good. Their best song on the
10th
album.
anniversary, 11th anniversary, 12th anniversary.
Yeah, pretty much.
12 and a half.
Yeah, the only other thing is their best song, Far Behind, or the most listened song, is about one of their friends that died from overdose, and it's a pretty good song.
It's
Yeah.
a little jammy for a dead person song.
That's true.
Then again, one of my favorite songs is called Dead Friends, and it's a bop, so I like that irony.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, I'm more of a U fan myself, though. If I wanted to feel like how I explained, I put U on, and I sit in the corner,
Smoke a cancer stick.
smoke a cancer stick. No smoking, kids. No smoking.
It's bad for you.
Wait,
I tell you what,
kids can
this
listen
isn't
to
my
it.
genre, but it's pretty good. Like if I were like, not even my genre. This isn't my decade.
Yeah.
It came out after the
20
50s.
years before, 20 years after Rocket Mountain High.
Well, I mean, well, actually, hold on. What year's this album out?
93 or
93. Okay, yeah, the 90s were without a doubt the decade in which I enjoyed the least of the music that came out.
opposite
But-
for me.
That's I've heard a lot worse come out of the 90s. I'll tell you that much.
Like Nirvana.
Okay. You don't have to shoot.
This
No,
is,
stop kicking
this
a
is
dead horse
becoming
here.
like
Let's
becoming
stop.
a clips episode where we just reference all past podcasts.
Clicking the
That
dead
word.
horse.
Dude, so I was listening to Heed the Call, and one of the guys on that one I think he called Nirvana the worst band ever.
I wouldn't say that, but
And then just got absolute, like he said, he was like, dude, I have been eviscerated by hate mail for the last 48 hours. On the next episode, he's like, I did not realize how important this album was to so many people.
The
like,
best thing about hate mail is that it doesn't boost. You know, people say things just to get like a boost in comments.
Mhm.
Hate mail
Right.
doesn't do that for anybody. It only helps the UPS system or whatever mail system that you're. You know what I'm saying? That's the best
true.
way.
I mean, it was probably
The email
like
company.
DMs or emails that he was getting, but still, that's not boosting your clicks. So
Yeah.
if you're gonna give us hate mails, at least comment on our videos, please, or somewhere, so we at
tell
least
us that
boost
we
the algorithm.
suck.
Actually, don't do that
Unmask us,
because
bring it on. I want it.
make it really flowery and gentlemanly how you say you disdain us, because YouTube actually does look at like negative comments and that would count against you in the algorithm. So
Oh, do they really?
yep.
Bro, I've been not commenting on videos because I felt like that was better than giving them a boost when I was angry about things for so long. This is a game changer.
Here we go. Follow along, BacoCraft. See all of his hate posts.
This is gonna be fun.
I don't know how that will do with your soul. You know, just FYI.
I'm supposed to be
One
the
week
hateful
from
one.
now, I'm just gonna. Hey guys,
Yeah.
He sounds like Voldemort. He is like
I sound like
Yeah.
Lucian at the beginning of the podcast before the Dayquil kicked in.
Let's protect that thing, huh? You need it.
All right, my number 2 is from a band that I've heard a few of their hits, but for the most part, I've only listened to one album, and I didn't realize that for the most part, people kind of just poop on this band. So I am ready for the hate comments to say you don't like Nirvana, but you like this band. Yes, that is true, and I think a lot of times it's because these guys are just being unabashedly themselves and coming off as very nerdy instead of being rock stars. So I am picking the Blue Album, also known by Weezer, came out in 1994.
Good pick. That 95. Hey, you know what? Like
Yep.
I said, not everything out of the 90s was bad.
I saw it had a 30th year anniversay release on there. But yeah, like, I didn't realize Weezer was so hated. And then you go online and everyone's like, I think, again, it's because like they come off as very nerdish. One of their songs is talking about having a 20-sided die in Dungeon Master's Guide, which I didn't even realize what that was when I first started listening to this album. But I think for songs, it's so cliche, but Say It Ain't So is so good. that
Dude,
there's some other good hits on that album, but that one just
Buddy
is,
Holly, the Weezer lick.
Undone.
yep, that's
like
also great.
It's like my favorite guitar riff of all time.
My Name Is Jonas. I like In My Garage. You know, I like the Surfing. Is it not Surfing USA? The Surfing whatever. It's kind of more of a Beach Boys thing. I got it right here. Surf Wax America. I like that, but I just really like this album. The only part I don't like is Undone, the sweater song at the very end. They do like one of those weird like
Hey, Bob.
a horror thing, and I'm just like, yeah.
Oh.
So I skipped the last 15 seconds. The only part of the song I skip. What's the Hey Bob from?
What's one of them? One of his songs, they were talking about like going to a party. Like, hey, Bob, how's it?
Oh
doing?"
yeah,
You guys know-
that is the beginning of the song. Yep, you're right.
Yeah.
Thought you were just
I
throwing it in
legitimately
there.
thought he answered a phone call without muting for a minute there.
Going to the party tonight? Yeah, I'll be real rad, man.
If you want to know more about why people hate Weezer, Pat Finnerty has an amazing video on Weezer on YouTube that I cannot recommend highly enough. It's hilarious. It's informative. Really, really good. I think it's specifically on Beverly Hills,
Mhm.
but he discusses like the whole history and how like the Blue album came out and then Pinkerton and like fans were torn on Pinkerton and then the Green album came out and everyone everything fell apart and it was fascinating
Oh my
stuff.
gosh, they even have an album called Van Weezer. I wonder if that's just Van Halen covers. Because I did do a whole cover album, so I wonder if they just do that. But they have a lot of albums. And besides, I feel like I've only heard their big hits from the Green album, which is, Beverly Hills and what's the one Sitting in the Sun or whatever? Island in the Sky. Yeah, Island in the Sun. I got there. And Photograph. But I don't really listen to it. I've tried. Not really my thing.
Yeah, Blue album's a banger.
Got it on
Pinkerton's
vinyl.
a 50-50, and then I don't think most people kind of fell off after
What's
that.
on Pinkerton? Is that their second album?
It was their second album. Yeah, I think it was a lot like I don't know. I'd have to. It's been a minute. I'd have to rewatch the video, but that was like, I think Pinkerton was like he tried to get even more artsy about it, and it was kind of a big flop, and so he went into like hiding for a while, and then came out with the Green album, and then people were like, oh, he's trying to like sell out and do the Blue album again and like be really like digestible, and it worked. He probably made a ton of money, but
I like how he has the Hurley album came out in 2010 is just the Blitz from How I Met Your Mother. It's just his face. Better known from Lost, but I haven't seen Lost. So. Mike, what's the Blitz? Mike, what's your number one?
my number one, dude, this album's so good. I thought this album was called Our Time Now for the longest time, but it's called Every Second Counts by the Plain White T's. It is an absolute banger from the first note to the last. It's so good. I know Hey There Delilah's on it. It might be like a radio edit tagged on because I'm not sure when that song came out. But Our Time Now is the opening track. So good. Hate / I Really, Really Don't Like You. Incredible. So damn clever. Friends Don't Let Friends Dial Drunk. Just making memories. It's so good. I love this album. It is one of my favorites. It's actually I got into this album because when I was young and still watching iCarly, so like 2 years ago, but like when I first started watching iCarly, they guest starred on an episode and they played Our Time Now, and I was like, this song's amazing. This band is more than just Hey There Delilah. And I got the album, I listened to it, I love it. And then I tried to get a bunch of the other albums, and I was like, this sucks. It's not good. Get rid of it. And so it's the only one. But the worst song, in my opinion, is You and Me. And it's also one of the shortest songs on the album. So it's really not that big a deal. And it's not that bad a song. It's just not great like the others.
Yeah, Hey There Delilah's a bonus track. I know one other song by the Plain White T's, and I can't remember what it's called. So I really only know Hey There Delilah.
Yeah, most people do, but that album, it's going to objectively be too punky for Lou, no question. But it's not super punky. It's more on the pop end with a little bit of punk sprinkled in. And yeah, almost every single track is a banger. And that band, they guest starred in like the whole first season of Greek, which I just think is awesome. So there was like an episode where the party frat was were like throwing a party, and they're like, "Hey Tom, you still in that little band?" He was like, "Yeah, no, it's doing quite well. What do you mean little band?" And like, so you just see them playing in like the background of parties, or there's an episode where the power goes out and he's just sitting there with an acoustic guitar playing like music. And so that's another reason I love that show, is because every second counts. It's just sprinkled through the whole first season.
Wasn't there only like 2 or 3 seasons of the show?
There were 3 seasons, but they were long seasons.
Okay. It's like the 20 episodes a season type thing.
Yeah, it's like 40-minute episodes, 20 episodes a season.
Dang, yeah, that is.
Yeah, it's basically a 6-season show.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I'd have to rewatch it, but to give you the details, it's been a minute. But that is a guilty pleasure show so hard, and I just might have to start watching it. You know what? I'm inspired. I might do that again. Plain White Tees. Here we go. You start with that one episode of iCarly and then jump right back into Greek.
You know, a Play White Teen verse. Play White Tees verse. It's every cameo, whatever. Put it in there,
Honestly,
and you can do a whole binge.
That could be fun.
Lou,
Right.
what is your number one hit
My
album?
number one. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
You're good.
You want to try that again, or?
No, go for it. We're live.
We're
You don't
live,
edit.
baby. We're live, baby. We're live. This is what you guys have been asking for. This is what you pay for. This
That's
is what
true.
you sit for the ads. This I discovered. It's funny that my last 2 I discovered because of my family would just listen to things. I actually discovered this artist by myself. I think I watched as a kid. What's that monkey with the red? And his dad wears a
Curious
red.
George.
Yeah, yep, and it's yellow. It's not red. I
I
went
was
to
to
school.
say, I didn't think you were pay.
His the movie theme song. This singer sung it. Where am I going with this? Who knows? In Between Dreams by Jack Johnson. I think if you're in the mood for this, I think you can't beat it. I think this is the album for you. Is it the most fanciest album in the world with the best riffs and the most beautiful voice? Not by any means. But if like you're on a beach or you're just trying to feel good on a Sunday afternoon, I think Jack Johnson will do it for you. Between like Better Together, Banana Pancakes, Sittin', Waitin', Wishin', you can't beat it. And this is the only album that I think is good. So that's my number one.
I think I know this. Is it the one with the tree in
Great
the album?
beach music.
Yep, this is the
Ah.
one with the tree. Yeah.
It's the only album I know by him, so I agree.
There you go. And it's the only album you really need to know. And he does a lot of good work. He's from Hawaii. He does a lot of what is it called? It's a fancy word for giving.
Philanthropy?
Yes, he does a lot of philanthropy in that culture, and that's pretty cool. And I've seen him sing songs for cancer kids. I think his soul was brought out into this album, and that's a really fancy thing to say, but I couldn't think of any other way to say it.
I vibe with it. I like this. This is good.
There you go. I give you a little bit of cigarettes and leather to a little bit of sun and beach and fun. I'll give it to you all. Little yin and yang situation.
Lose
I
the
don't
whole
know, man. I
package.
can see myself smoking a cigarette while wearing leather sandals on the beach to this. So
I guess
take off my
hacked the
jacket,
system.
turn it into sandals, and away we go.
You hack the system. You guys ever burn your feet on sand?
Oh my gosh, yes, it's awful.
Oh, it is the cruelest thing I think God has ever done to me. Is to like trick me into thinking that it's a beautiful day out and I should run and jump into the water and then burn my flesh at the bottom of my feet. You might want to delete that the God thing. I don't know. You might not.
I
It's
thought it was
live.
funny.
It's live.
It's your choice. It's your.
You want to know what he did to me the other day?
What did he do to you?
I biked 11 miles to work into the winds, and he had the audacity to go, "We're gonna turn that sucker 180 degrees," And then I biked 11 more miles back into the wind, and I was upset about it the whole time.
Sounds like you're saying you need some cardio.
Maybe. I was just telling myself if I'd been going faster in either direction, I'd have been hit. 'Cause that's the only way I was able to not be upset about it.
I mean, and how are you supposed to tell your kid about your struggles in life?
Right? I biked to work into the wind both ways. I seriously felt like 90 years old. Both because it was like it was so windy. It was like
Yeah? What was
motor
it,
at full tilt, and I was still
like
like I
5
can
miles an
barely
hour
go.
wind? Yeah.
No, it was like in the 20s, I think. Which
Wow.
I get is not North Dakota winds, but still, you're not biking anywhere.
Not yet.
I would only move to North Dakota so we can talk about.
Yeah,
his
just so I could
struggles.
be like, yeah. Wind, cold, you guys don't know anything.
Cold. You ever pee and your penis shrivels up? I have.
And there goes the very last of our female listeners for this episode.
No, Megan, I'm sorry. Listen to the rest of the podcast.
Well, depending on what she was doing in the early 2000s, she's going to hate me for this take because, in my opinion, and I've said on the podcast before, I just, for the longest time, did not like this singer's voice. I can't really listen to any other albums. I don't like their style, their vibe. But gosh darn it, The Black Parade is a fantastic album by My Chemical Romance. Came out in
There we go.
2006.
Represent the pop punk, baby.
There we go. And for the longest time, again, I didn't like this. I just didn't. I don't know why. I don't remember what's the singer's name? Do you know, Mike, off the top of your head?
I do not know. I was never a huge My Chemical Romance fan,
Mhm.
but that song is untouchable.
Yeah. Has the song itself has Welcome to the Black Parade has 567 million plays, which is wild, so 500 million. I don't even think it's the best song on the album. To that, I'm gonna have to give it to The Sharpest Lives, my favorite, number 4. Got a nice guitar riff and everything. But yeah, for the most part, this whole album is just a banger, and I'm sad it took me so long to actually, adjust and my tastes kind of realign to I'm liking it, because I had some friends that were huge into this, and it would just been a good bonding experience to kick back and listen to this album. But at least I like it now, so that's better than just being the hater that Lou paints me as. And it's a long album. There's 14 tracks, but honestly, there's nothing really to skip. Just a banger all the way through. And shout out to all my concept albums out there. It's a song between someone that's dying and then death, and it's kind of like the story, their perspective in between things.
I like that.
Yep. So everything, the theory is that everything that like starts with a heavy guitar riff is death singing, and then everything that's like slower and more acoustic beginning is the person that's dying. So.
Oh, dude, this slaps. This is really good.
Which one?
Sharp Lives.
The Sharp
The one you
Slaps, yeah.
suggested. Yeah.
So good. Lou, what's your thoughts on My Chemical Romance?
I will argue that their first album is just as good as their second album. And the beginning song with Helena, I think it really got me through some of like the angstiness of my early teens.
Saying 3 cheers for Sweet Revenge.
3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge. Yeah, their first album's pretty good. Is it as good? Yeah. I mean, is it? I just think they're not just a one album wonder. That's the argument there.
See, the beginning of Helena is like what turned me off. I feel like that weird.
Really?
Yeah. Vocal effects. I don't know.
That's fair.
It's okay.
I'm not okay. I promise. Oh
I
my
like that
gosh,
one. Well, I mean, that one's good. I can't.
that was an absolute banger.
So much
But
teenage angst.
it is very angsty. You have to. Yeah, it brings me back. Teenagers in 8th grade for me did it.
On the Black Parade.
Yep, on the Black Parade. I used to listen to that song on my PSP.
Nice.
headphone.
Throwback.
Just the stereo.
It's not Phase Mom.
I have
Do
a
I scare
theory
the living
about.
crap out of you? What's your theory?
I have a theory about Welcome to the Black Parade. I think that it is our generation's closest equivalent to Bohemian Rhapsody as a song. I think it's the song that comes closest to being comparable to Bohemian Rhapsody.
As soon as you hear that G piano chord, you're just like, bam. Welcome to
Right.
Black Parade.
And that's the thing, is they both start with that very distinct piano. They both swell into this insanity. They both have these multiple distinct phases. Like, I think if you had, I don't think you could find another song that, comes as close.
I got nothing off the top of my head, and yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think I disagree with you.
Yeah, I'll give it to you.
But if you do disagree, let us know down in the comments. Other than that,
And
you guys...
I want to know what you got though. Like if you disagree, you have to have well, no, you don't. If you disagree, just say so. But
He'd prefer.
I would love to hear what you have instead.
Yep. We got time for 2 honorable mentions. Just make them quick. What do you guys got? If any.
King Comrade by King Comrade.
I thought about throwing that on there, but 3 people would get that.
Yep. Killer album. Every single song's a banger. One of them is about my dead grandma, so that's cool. And it's only a 1 album wonder because it's another only 1 album kind of situation. But maybe someday when the
Go
2
check 'em
guys who are on the album actually, find a little bit of time between careers and families, they'll put out another one. So
Cool.
who knows?
We'll have them on the pod to celebrate.
Yeah, we'll let all the listeners
You guys
know.
can come to the top pod to break the news about the album. Big hitters over here. You got a second one, Mike, or just that one?
Oh, gosh. I'm just gonna rapid fire here.
Nope, you got
the
one.
Daylights by the Daylights.
All right, Lou, you're on 2 honorable mentions.
Lover Sister by Lover Sister and Twin Forks by Twin Forks.
All right, he took mine. There you go.
Yeah, Twin Forks by Twin Forks.
Yeah, they're all self-titled albums.
You got any, Lou, or those were literally yours?
Oh, he can take mine. That's cool.
Okay.
No, I mean I don't need to discuss them. I just want to throw them out
Yeah.
in case people.
I'm gonna go with Love Tap by Small Pools. Fantastic album, and then
Dude, I almost so good.
so good. And then The Earth Is Not a Cold Dark Planet by Explosion in the Sky. If you like ambient rock.
I've never heard of that one, but I didn't know other people listened to Small Pools. This is exciting.
I discovered them at the 21 Pilots concert I saw in, 2014, and then they played for my college had a spring concert every time, and they played there one time. So fantastic, good live performance too.
Over and over.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
Next week though, we'll be talking about The Hobbit, so be sure to tune in to that and join our Discord for any of our discussion. We have some going on about our favorite plot points, just a general discussion, favorite characters. But like I said, be sure to check out the vote on next month's. But it's only 10 hours, so you could binge it, especially if you're like Cantwell, who reads on ×3 speed basically, or what it feels like with his freaking consumption of books. But there's still time to listen to that if you haven't or read it. Other than that, thank you all for listening. We'll catch you all next week. Peace.
I was gonna say peace.
That's my thing, dog.
Easy.